Welcome back to the Lighthouse Keepers Podcast. I'm your host, Mary Ellen Sherlock. Very excited to check into 2026 with you today and my very special guest, Veronica Thiers, also known as the Hampton Tarot. Veronica, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're so welcome.
What a wonderful way to kick off 2026.
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit about how you actually became the Hampton Tarot, if you wouldn't mind going into that story, because I'm always fascinated.
Growth, dark night of the souls, maybe a little heartbreak, but mostly synchronicities. I have a very strange story about 333 that I don't share with too many people. I was seeing it everywhere. Car license plates, and mostly at 3:33 a.m. in the middle of the night. I would wake up.
What a great time to be up, right?
But also very scary when it happens repeatedly, for months and months and months. And it's not something you want to share with your friends, or, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it just sounds bizarre. So one day I kind of broke and I shared it with my mother, and your mother's supposed to be very comforting, but she thought it was also very eerie and weird. But I just thank God she believed me. But, I Googled it, and it was good.
It's a very spiritual.
It's a spiritual number.
Yes.
And I felt relieved. And, that kind of opens your mind when you have something like that happen to you in a personal way.
Yes.
But also, you go through breakups, and then you kind of evaluate yourself. Is it, am I making the same choices over and over again? Why am I doing that?
Right.
And, tarot was really good for me.
Yes.
Because it's advice, and it's not coming from people. It's coming from somewhere else. And I got very, very into it.
That's the most important reason why you were the absolute perfect person to be the first interview of 2026, because it is a way for me to get our audience to know more about what tarot is. And I'd love to know, what Mary Ellen, I've never been busier. Why are people seeking out these forms of divination? Why do you think?
I think people are waking up. We have so much information, and people just, they see it. They see that there's more, and this is just something that they're very interested in, and they move towards it. They see me in the bookshop, and they're like, oh, they're very excited.
Yes, they're not shying away from this at all, are they?
No, I've got a lot of parties. I go to a lot of houses. I think it's like a global awakening, honestly.
Yes.
I really do.
You mentioned one other time, this has been a significant uptick even since COVID. You're like, a lot of people, Marilyn, were coming to me for some kind of meaning, some type of understanding about what in the world is going on.
Yeah, you don't want to leave the house.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Definitely. And I think that once your eyes get opened like that, lots of different things come in. Spirituality comes in, energy comes in. For me, actually color. After COVID. Yes. And I don't know if this has happened to too many other people, but I had a certain set of colors that I gravitated towards. And then after COVID, it all of a sudden, boom.
Wow.
All kinds of colors, like orange and yellow, colors that I don't even like.
Right.
Now suddenly I'm drawn to them. Purple. Yes. I mean, come on.
Right.
I never even looked at purple before.
Right.
Now it's like one of my favorite colors. So that happened after COVID. It was almost like, you get spiritually woken up.
Yes. Would you always say that you were spiritual, religious, neither?
I'll definitely say God. I will say God, and I'll go even more crazy and say Jesus, and that I believe, and I'm a believer, but I also believe that tarot is an evil. And I think that spirituality is very interesting, all of it.
Yes.
And I don't think it's something that, if we touch it, we're going to get burned necessarily.
Right. Yes.
But I think that it's got a bad rap. I think, the tree hugging, tarot card reading, crystal loving community has gotten a very bad rap. I think that a lot of people think, if they break their leg, they're going to rub a crystal on it and it's going to heal. Yes. And that's very sad.
Yes, it's very sad. So I want to ask you, the research that I've done on tarot cards, apparently, just for our viewing audience, so tarot cards came out in the 14th century during the Renaissance period as an actual card game that people used to use. That's what they played cards with, aristocrats. But then in the 18th century, they came out doing some level of spiritual divination. Do you believe that tarot cards is fortune telling or honing in on intuition?
I think you can use it for fortune reading. It depends on what you're after, and it also depends on who you are. What kind of person is reading the cards?
Right.
You know, are you an evil person,
right,
trying to do something nefarious? Are you a good person looking, you know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
It depends on like the vessel.
Yes.
That's my feeling.
How do you feel? So since you started your business, first of all, I just need to share with you that Veronica was featured in East Magazine. She autographed this copy for me. This holiday season, you are blowing up.
Yeah.
In a good way.
In a good way.
And you feel there's a lot of positive momentum. Mary Ellen, everyone that comes to me, they really do want to seek that answer. We just talked a little bit about nobody has a problem punching in, I need an address and the path to get to this address on Apple Maps, Google Maps. But the same thing can be said for somebody that's doing that in their spiritual life or some level of guidance. Is that your experience with people who you read cards with?
I do experience that. I think people are coming in and they want more answers. And this is a great tool to get them.
Yes.
It's like, if you're lucky, you can see like a little, you don't have to take it.
Yes.
But if there's something in there that gives you some way to go,
right,
it's comforting, for lack of a better word.
Yes. So you had an interesting situation when you had the person that reached out,
Christine Sampson,
when you had the offering. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that encounter when she came to your house.
She was going to interview me, and I was so excited. And first question off the bat, are you psychic? And I said, no. Because it's the truth. I'm not psychic at all, but I read energy. And we had this great interview, and she left, and I'm watching her drive out the driveway, and I'm like, she's not going to write it. She's not going to write it because I don't think that I gave her, maybe woo woo, or,
just say that wasn't woo woo enough.
It wasn't woo woo enough.
Right.
So she left, and what I wanted to say, but I couldn't because she was pulling out of the driveway, was we're all psychic. All of us. And I just think there's too much noise and we can't connect to it often. But each and every one of us, we have it in us, all this intuitive, wonderful stuff that's just like buried by all the noise. Yeah. And, I was like, come back so I can say it. and then I was just shocked that she did actually. She did
put it in there.
She surprised me.
I know. And you know what? Because I think sometimes psychic people maybe scare people because they are the,
Mm-hmm. And I'm not. I would love to come across one.
Yeah.
And have that kind of, I think it would be fun and wonderful. Or do past life regression or all that, because I'm so into it. But for me, it's just like I can 100%, everybody, you walk into a room, you can read the energy.
Right.
And then you have like those 5 friends that have like, they're so cut off. They can't read a room to save their life.
Yes.
But that's what I'm talking about. We have that ability to read energy. And I definitely have that.
Have you ever read cards for somebody that you were like, it was wild?
Oh my gosh, so many times. So many times.
Who's more surprised, you or them?
I would say them. There's especially men that get pushed by the people that they're with. Like say there's a group of people, and I would say more men than women. Women tend to have like a little bit more of an open mind, I think. And then you have, say a guy that's never even thought of it, and the person next to them is, do it. And he's like,
resistance.
Oh, so resistant.
Yeah.
And he'll do it, and he'll be shocked by the fact that he, half-heartedly shuffled the cards. But you don't have to shuffle the cards. You just have to touch the cards.
Right.
You know what I mean? And your energy will show up.
Right.
So when these people that have no idea, or no interest rather, and their energy shows up for them, they're blown away by it. They're like, you can see them. They just go radio silent.
Right. Anything that was so memorable that person became a born again, like they were all 10 toes in, like this thing is like really a game changer. Like they were so blown away, like I am full in on this now. Or you're always going to see some level of skepticism.
I think that there's always some skepticism, but the fact that somebody had, like, there's this one woman that came in a long time ago. She was an artist, and she was doing a specific part of the neck, and it was like through here, and she was obsessed with it, and it was called the Lighthouse. And there's a card in Chris Ann's Light Keepers deck. And anyway, it's very specific. It actually shows like the lighthouse coming from her head and all of this. And she basically worked on it night and day, that like she was an artist. And that she pulled that card out, she couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
She was just like, you don't understand. She's like, she was taking pictures of it. She was absolutely blown away by it. Yes. And I could see her reaction, that she was just like, no way did I just pull this out of,
but when you do what you do, nothing is everything is a synchronicity.
I see that all the time though. For her, it was like, this experience, but
nothing
for me,
is random.
No, I don't think that we're an accident.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, even the whole point of that at that time, for that minute, for that person, that's exactly how that was supposed to play out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I think energy is amazing. That's the only thing that I think that tarot is just pure energy. And I'm fascinated by it.
Yes.
And I see so many weird, wonderful things for myself for 6 years, doing it for myself. Weird, wonderful things.
Yes.
And I didn't think that I would enjoy it, and didn't think that it would follow me out of the house, basically, right? So when it does, it's wonderful.
Do you think that this was a calling for you?
Maybe I'm discovering that it is, because I just enjoy it so much. I really thought that reading for people would not be fun or interesting. And it's just the polar opposite. I love it. And it's fascinating, because I see what happens for me happening for other people.
Right.
And it's personal.
In addition to you being featured in this magazine, you've come across a lot of other tarot card readers. Are you seeing more and more people getting into this? What would you call, is this spiritual work? Is this advice? Is when people go to people, when they go to, we talked earlier, we both go to acupuncture,
Reiki,
Reiki, like past lives, like alternative forms of healing. And I do think that at some point having something like this done is a form of healing. I'm looking for
it
some
is. It's like
direction.
being a spiritual therapist. That's, you know what? That's exactly what it feels like.
Welcome to this. Because I do think that people are looking for some form of guidance.
Just something. And sometimes you're lucky and you get it. That's why, and I didn't want guidance from other people. You don't know how genuine, like when you're going through something, right? And you're kind of fried emotionally.
Because the person who's receiving the advice can feel that energy. That sounds actually pretty accurate. Whereas, if you asked a friend, a colleague, a family member, that person's obviously, and this is my experience, that their guidance to you may have some peppering of what they're emotionally invested in you doing that. Right. But the cards are not invested in anything.
Exactly. It's like a direct message from the universe.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're into it, if you believe it, if you can feel it, then it's more trustworthy.
Have you ever had somebody who said, I don't believe in that, and you're okay with it? Yeah.
I'm totally okay with it, because I was that person. I was 100% that person.
Really?
I've had friends, that were going through stuff, and that I've had to call and apologize profusely, the ghosts, let's just say that. And I just told them, you're excited and anxious and nervous and scared, and you are making, a mountain out of a molehill, you gotta calm down.
Right.
So basically you have to go through something and see it and feel it before you can believe it sometimes.
Right.
And for me, then, a while later I experienced something that, couldn't be explained. And I picked up the phone and the first thing I did, I'm sorry. Yes. So I have been that person.
Yes.
And if you asked me, would I ever have fallen into this, and loved it? And no.
What is the feeling that you leave when you've given somebody this intuitive roadmap to help them? Sometimes people do their past, the present, the future.
I don't do that.
Every reader
does like a different format.
Yes.
And for me, I love the present. It is like therapy. And, I can go to the past or the future, but I choose to stay right in the present.
This is where you are.
That's like my forte.
So if we can break it down a little bit for our audience, there's major arcana and minor arcana cards in a deck.
78.
Yes. Major arcana are the major themes in someone's life. Is that right? Or the more powerful?
They're the more powerful, more spiritual heavyweights. Okay. And like if the major arcana start showing up all over the table, I would pay attention to them. I'm not that you don't want to pay attention to the other ones, but they tend to show up a little bit like
during more powerful changes that are going to happen in your life.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I like repeating energy. For me, like I said, I didn't really think this was something that I would find interesting, but it's fascinating. And for me, if I'm going to follow energy, if I'm going to work with it, yes. I have to see it again and again and again. I have to get a lot of repeating energy. And then I'm like, okay. And then it usually does show up like this. This is a perfect example. I was pulling cards for myself and there's something called a Page of Cups. It's like a nice offer. And it was coming out like a ridiculous amount of times for me, like so much that I was like, okay.
I guess I'm getting an offer.
All right. Well, and it was funny because the day, that I said, okay, so I'm getting this card so much. Where's my nice little offer? The phone rang for that.
I'd like to feature you.
I'd like to, and I was like, oh, that's nice.
There it was.
There it was. So it does happen, with repeating energy. And that was a small repeating. That was a minor arcana, but it was a lot of it. Yeah. But that's what I need personally for me, for myself. I need a lot of it. But, some people don't. They'll get a reading and they'll blow me away, but they'll do the right thing. They'll work with the energy and then they'll call me later or they'll come and visit me later and they'll be like, I worked with that and I feel better. It's like spiritual therapy. It is.
So a lot of people in the spiritual community, astrologers are talking about, we've left the 9-year, 2025 was a 9-year and we're going into
snake.
Let's go to the snake. For anybody that pays attention to Chinese, astrology or regular astrology, we're moving into a 10. So, 2026.
2026, the fire horse. And that's one of the things that I like so much about all of this is just like, it's endless, the crystals and the energy and the
overlaps in so many
astrology.
ways. Yes. It's wonderful.
And it's so much fun. And all the people that enjoy it the way I do. And it has completely and totally enriched my life.
Would you say, hey, Mary Ellen, 5 years from now, where do you see yourself? Traveling the world, teaching tarot card reading to people, speaking at symposiums, being on more podcasts.
Doing more of this.
Yeah.
I mean, this for me is very comfortable and very nice. And, I don't think I want to do TED Talks.
Yeah. Not yet. Not yet.
On energy.
Yeah.
But, I love it. It has blown me away with, how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I never ever thought that, I would be reading tarot for people and enjoying it. And I do. I love it.
Are you okay with the people that are the non-believers?
Oh, totally.
And I think that's a very important thing. We're not evangelizing anything here. We're like, hey, this is what a lot of people really like. And this is, what people are very interested in. And if there's an audience of people, like you said, Mary Ellen, I don't go to them. I'm not knocking on their door. Mm-hmm. They come and find me.
Oh, they do.
There are people that are so interested in
I've had people that do a tarot reading with me and it resonates on so many levels that they go home and then they kick their family member out of the house and say, go see her.
Yes.
Go.
Yes, exactly.
Because their experience was so incredibly spot on. And you don't have to work with the energy. It's not like there's somebody holding this spiritual gun to your head saying, you must follow the cards. No, you could totally ignore it. Right. Matter of fact, I ignore it all the time. Yeah. But when I don't ignore it is when I get beaten over the head with the same message.
Yes.
And then I can't. And then I focus on it. And then it gets interesting for me.
Yeah.
So when I read for someone and they've got like a lot of repeating energy, I'm like, oh, take a look at that.
Yeah.
Because that's interesting.
Very interesting. As we get ready to close, one of the things that I know that is a big thing that people shy away from is their own internal rudder, their own intuition, their own kind of knowing. And a lot of people are like, I read this book years ago, and everybody was reading. Remember The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle? Yes. Telling this story, and everybody was reading. They were so fast. It was on Oprah, and I was like, I read the book and I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I just didn't get it. And then years later, I picked up the book, and I feel sometimes the teacher shows up when the student is ready. Yeah. And I hope that that's the same for all the people that are going to take such wonderful advantage of your gift, Veronica, because
thank you.
It is a gift. When people are ready, they will show up and be very grateful for the opportunity for you to help them, figure out their path or confirm they're on the right path, which is always lovely. Veronica, thank you so much for being with us today. If people are interested in getting a reading or getting started or learning from what you do, how do they get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me at a book place in Riverhead. It's right next to the aquarium, or hamptontarot.com. And I totally suggest, if you want to start getting into tarot books, read many, many leather-bound books, or the internet. The internet is, there's so many people online on YouTube that will give courses.
Veronica, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for educating our audience, helping us kick off 2026. I hope you'll come back and talk to us again.
Yay!
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.